special hot seat for me because Dr. Erika Gray is somebody that I have known for years. And we met through a mutual friend. We ended up designing her website years ago. Back then, it's a little bit different what she's doing today. And we bumped into each other at the Mindshare Summit that JJ Virgin hosts every single year for practitioners, people in the medical and wellness industry. It's a massive conference full of seriously some of the brightest individuals on the planet. And I just enjoyed getting to sit down and spend time with her again. And she's been, active inside of the Leverage to Scale community. So when we decided to open up this option for weekly hot seats, it was so cool that you're like, I'll do one. And I was like, yes, more time with Erika, because you'll see she's awesome. So Erika, thanks so much for being here today. I'm excited for what happens next.
Oh, I am too. I'm really excited.
So for those of you who don't know what a hot seat is, I'll just spend 1 second telling you, but I really want to dive in because I want to maximize Erika's time here with us today. A hot seat just means that Erika has a business, just like all of us, and she might feel like she has some questions, whether in marketing or sales or operations, and she wants an opportunity to put me in the hot seat and just start asking me questions. I do have a sense of what Erika does. She has a company, she's a co-founder of a company called Toolbox Genomics, right? Mm-hmm. And basically my understanding, Erika, is that you are studying genetics and at a scientific level, and then using the genetic information that you receive to make a customized plan to help people live their optimal health.
Good job. Yeah, that's great.
The only reason I even sort of understand this is because it was about a year and a half ago that I worked with a functional medicine doctor, and I did rigorous testing. I mean, it felt rigorous to me anyway. And out of that experience came this really detailed document of my cellular level of what is happening in my body and how my hormones are behaving throughout the day and what that means. And honestly, I'm looking at this PDF but luckily he knew what it meant. Perfect. And out of that experience, it was very positive. I would recommend anybody to go get your genetics tested to that degree, because I was able to make some adjustments to really experience a whole new level of energy and just clarity. Mm-hmm. And it's been really wonderful. So I'm sure you do things that I would never understand, but from a marketing perspective, I'm here to serve you in getting this word out. And you can ask me literally anything that you want. If I don't know something, I'll be honest about it, but put me in the hot seat, girl. What do you got for me? How can I help you with this incredible business?
So I think you said it right there, marketing. I mean, when you say genetics, genomics, people are like, oh my gosh, it's high school biology. Exactly. and so here's the challenge for us. People look at the website, and I don't think our website is great. I don't think it pulls people in. So that's been, so question there. Okay. Because I also, one of the things that I've brought up is that practitioners are consumers also. I mean, they're not, totally. It's not like they're in their own little ivory tower. And they know exactly how to market and do everything. So that's one thing. The other thing about this is that we get a lot of people who come to conferences and they're like, oh, this is great. This is so exciting. And then it's just nothing happens. There's no conversion. And I mean, part of it is I'm going to pick up the phone and call people, but there's a missing component here because they're so excited and then there's no follow through.
So just to be clear, your audience is the practitioners who would then use your service and methodology for their patients.
Yes.
Right? That's my understanding.
Yes.
And the practitioners really could be in many different industries, right? Pockets of health and wellness. It's not like it's one, because this science, this practice really helps a lot of different areas, right? A lot of people who are practicing different areas of wellness, right?
Correct. And so, I mean, we're targeting functional and integrative medicine because they're the early adopters.
Okay. Yeah. And that makes sense. So what makes you different than anybody else that's doing something similar?
So two things. We do that, you just pulled it up right there, that end-to-end genomic solution. A lot of companies are only offering the interpretation off of 23andMe. We've done a modified genetic risk score. So you can actually, essentially it's a summary of all of your results put into a nice little bar graph. And then you can customize an order. So you as a practitioner could say, well, I like this one, and put it all together and then create your own custom panel, which is huge.
Yeah, that does make sense. What do you intuit is the disconnect for practitioners? So they're hearing about you through a webinar or at a conference, and like, wow, this sounds really amazing. What do you feel is the problem to why they don't move forward?
I think it's two reasons. They don't know how to integrate it into their practice. And then when they actually take a step back, they go, oh, there's a lot here I don't know. And I don't know how I'm going to speak to it intelligently to my patients, because this is already an area that I'm not very clear about. And if I'm not very clear about it, why would I bring it to my patients until I'm 100% clear? So I just need to spend some more time looking at this. Shelved.
I hope you guys, because the people listening are like, wow, this has nothing to do with me, but it actually does. I can even relate to this with leverage to scale, because Erika, I'm sitting on something that I'm like, oh my God, everybody needs this. This is the most amazing thing in marketing on the internet today. And I have calls with people, and sometimes I would say about half the time you see the excitement.
Right.
It seems like they get it, and yet they need time to think about it, which tells me they don't get it. And so then I'm thinking, well, like, what am I doing wrong? And I keep trying different positioning, but with each call, I'm getting closer to what the disconnect is. And it actually has nothing to do with my product. So what I found, Erika, is that really it is the business owner's own nerves or insecurity about hiring a virtual assistant to do the work for them. They are 100% sold on leverage to scale and what it does. They know they don't want to do mundane marketing tasks, right? Mm-hmm. And they love the system. It makes perfect sense. They trust me, but it's that VA that I have no control over unless I then change my business model to include a virtual assistant with it, or have a matchmaking service, or do I have a VA certification program? I'm sharing this with you because I want to really try to relate to what you're experiencing, but also I'm trying to give viewers an opportunity to see a completely different business model, to see that it really is kind of the same. Sometimes we have a solution that's a little bit more sophisticated. There's definitely a need in the marketplace, but how do we just get everybody to really understand what this is and how to incorporate it more easily, right, so that then we all win in huge ways. So let me ask you this. If that is the missing link, is there some sort of, I don't know, like a concierge service where you can actually do a consultation with them to help them get this integrated into their practice? And if you don't want to do that, even if maybe that's an add-on upsell option, right? Or maybe there's a training that comes during the process that tells them how easy this could be. What options do we have there?
So we do both. I mean, we tell people, look, you just schedule a consult. There's a button, click on it, and we'll help you. We'll help you get set up, whatever you need. And we've had a lot of people like, oh, yes, this is great. And they'll order 5 kits and they get it to the office and then they just sit there. So it's like, we got them through the sign up process. We got them there like, okay, I'm going to do it. And we've got a bunch of kits that are just sitting on shelves, which are expensive for us, and they're not using them. So then so we've absolutely done that. We have a training. We have a bunch of different things. I need to confirm if we send a video in the link when they sign up to say, hey, thank you, this is, here are some other steps. But I feel like we've tried to hit a lot of those.
I hear ya. Seriously. Something that I realized with Leverage to Scale when I initially onboarded people, I was making a certain level of assumption in the first year that Leverage to Scale existed. Something that I did in the last 6 months is when somebody signs up now and the virtual assistant starts to go through her side of the training, the first thing that I ask her to do is schedule a call with the business owner. And I have created a call, like an onboarding agenda that the virtual assistant will use to facilitate this call with the business owner. And in that initial exchange, enough of the right information is conveyed to the virtual assistant to further empower her and make her feel confident in making sure she really understands the brand that she's about to represent and doing all the social media, making sure that she's adopting the language and belief system of the business owner so she can act as if doing social media. So I wonder, perhaps there's a training, there's an onboarding video, and there's maybe even a script that is and in fact, I'm going to show this to you just so we have it on the recording, just because it might be valuable to you. All right. So let's see here. This is when a virtual assistant first starts to go through their training. It says download onboarding call agenda. So basically you would do like a little welcome video, because look, the practitioners themselves don't want to do more work. They've got enough going on. They're busy. So we have to get this in the hands of their assistant or office manager or something like that.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So now what happens is the office manager is going to watch this onboarding video telling them, here's what you need to know to get your practitioner boss, man, woman, to do this, what they want to do, but won't have the bandwidth to do themselves to get it up and running. Then this is an example of the onboarding strategy session that a virtual assistant would facilitate with the business owner. So I give that VA instructions. So we suggest you use Zoom, plan up to 2 hours, record the meeting. So here's everything I want you to do. Here's how to facilitate the call. And here are the questions that I want you guys to discuss on this call. And it's all like branding questions. What's your core message? What's your promise? Tell me some stories about your customers. Any testimonials you can share with me, like anything that I believe is going to set up that virtual assistant for success in implementing that business owner's social media. So I could see video, whether it's a call agenda or a checklist that he or she can implement on behalf of the practitioner to integrate this into their general office routine. That, I think that's going to be the follow-up piece needed. And let me actually show you one last thing and we can move on, because this is interesting too. Inside of Leverage to Scale, I have a troubleshooting module. This is something that the virtual assistant can implement if they are not getting information that they need from the business owner. So I say, step 1, here's what you can get started with. And now I'm going to relate this to you a little bit. Like office manager, step 1, here's what you can do, even if the practitioner can't do this piece yet. But step 2, if a week goes by and practitioner still hasn't given you what you need, then why don't you send them this email or ask them these questions? And if that doesn't work a week later, you should suggest to them that they set up one of these concierge calls with my office and I can walk them through it. And if that doesn't work, then a week later, I want you to do blah, blah, blah. So basically, you are training the office manager how to do the follow through for you and how to upsell even if it's not getting done, right? That's going to empower the office manager to integrate this for you. She's going to feel like, okay, I know what needs to be done. So she'll do it. Practitioner will hit their outcome and you'll hit your outcome. So that's an operation.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
that's a really great idea, because you're right. That's, even when we've called and we've wanted to talk to practitioners, we get the front office. So it makes perfect sense there. And often they will say, hey, do you have an onboarding for the front office? How do you do that? So that could be.
That's like a mic drop moment. Or it's like,
I know, because I was just, it really is, because now, well, you're doing two things. You're making those office managers and the office staff feel really valued and important, which they absolutely are.
Mm-hmm.
And you've made the decision making easier for the practitioner. I always think of it as the Trader Joe's model, right? There's only one brand of ketchup there. So just like, that's what we need to do. The one brand of ketchup, and it's good customer service. You have a problem, we'll take it back. You didn't like it, we'll fix it. And I think that's a really good idea. Okay, so
I would love to take a pause. Those of you that are watching live or on the replay later, I would love to know what you thought of what just unfolded here, because that was powerful. If you have any part of your marketing, sales, onboarding, something feels off, it's dropping, it's not working the way that you know it should, maybe just look at it from a different angle and think, how can somebody else in that person's organization help move this forward? So that's number one. The only other thing that I wanted to add, Erika, is that it might be worth surveying your audience too, and ask some of the initial practitioners or the past 5 or 10, like, where is the disconnect? I just want to learn because I want to do better. If I were to do this onboarding assistance, would that help you? Or is it something else? Can you please tell me? Because this is way too important to the world for me to get in my own way with it. And people will be honest with you, so just survey always. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
This is fun.
This brings up another question. So I know that our sign-up process has been challenging, and it's challenging for two reasons. People need to consent. They've got to fill out a form which says that they're agreeing to a practitioner agreement, and then and they need to confirm their email. And we have to put in a level of security. But when people are doing this, they're trying to do it in between patients. They get frustrated. They fat finger things. And so they think that they can get the sign-up process done on their phone in under 5 minutes, which they should be able to. It should be like a 2-minute thing. But it ends up becoming this bigger issue. There's something, their email goes to spam, and then they can't find it in spam, or someone else put on another letter. I mean, I've been troubleshooting some of these lately, and I feel like there's another disconnect where we say it's easy to sign up. It is easy to sign up, but then they get frustrated because there's more steps than they were hoping.
Can you eliminate any of the steps or combine them?
We've already streamlined pretty much as we can to protect everybody.
None of it could be done in different phases.
It can. They can sign up and then do the confirmation, all of that later. But usually they're just trying to do everything on the spot.
And, maybe as part of this new onboarding process, we ask the office manager to arrange a 30-minute meeting with a practitioner. And within that 30 minutes, we tell the office manager how to have them do those steps in addition to, whatever else they need to do. Because then they've blocked out the time. They are more patient to the process because that's what they blocked out the time to do. And the office manager can then walk them through it, which gives them a comfort of relaxation because they don't have to figure it out. Maybe if it can happen at that point, that's when I would do it. So at least they've signed up, we've gotten them in motion. Then the office manager has this meeting, and then you get what you need, they get what they need. It's all done and buttoned up the right way.
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting idea where we really push. And again, if it's a solo practitioner, then that's fine. But the grand majority of these people do have office staff.
Yeah. So same thing with leverage to scale. 100% a solopreneur can go in and do the whole thing, but I still recommend that they schedule that time to do their own onboarding meeting with themselves and still fill out those questions, right? Because if you don't spend the time to do that, the system, the product itself is still going to be awesome, but it's not going to be as awesome as it would be if you actually took the beginning part seriously. Now, that's a little bit different with you because you actually have to get certain things accomplished in that 30 minutes. Whereas a business owner could say like, oh, you already know my own message, right? Even though we all know that focused time dials it in further. But I think the point is just having that structure for them to dedicate this time to go through the steps, I think is going to be the zinger for you. It's going to be a game changer.
Okay. That's really exciting. I like that. Thank you.
Game changer. All right. Well, we still have at least another 5 minutes. So in terms of marketing, sales, fulfillment, customer experience, leadership of a team, is there anything else that we got magic unfolding here? What else can we do?
So let's talk about email strategy, because a lot of people have said email's dead. Practitioners are bombarded with email all the time. Yeah. Because it's not just us competing for their time, it's the supplement companies. Oh, this is new, that's new. So I'm trying to think and put myself into their position. What would be a value add that we can provide if they sign up, but they are still on the fence and they haven't figured out how to implement it in their practice? So I feel like they need a nurture sequence that keeps saying, hey, did you know you could do this? Oh, look at this. But again, it's another email that is competing.
This is a really important topic because everybody's wrestling with this right now. Every single person listening to this is wrestling with this right now. And I am too. We all are, right? Because we are all just exhausted from notifications, constant questions. We can't escape it, right? It's just like some days I feel like I am literally being attacked with just media, like notifications, emails, questions. If it's not on Facebook Messenger, it's on LinkedIn Messenger, and it's a text message, and then it's something else. It's and what's actually happening, Erika, is people are starting to delete different apps, stop, certain notifications on their phone. Like they're just starting to rebel and say, I'm not doing it anymore. That said, people still need solutions to their problems. Right. And we know that people crave connection. People need to know that they are heard, loved, seen, and valued. So my personal approach, Erika, is that I'm going to keep doing me. And if you want to unsubscribe, you have that right. But I look at it as a challenge. How can I be so valuable and give you so much of that personal connection and attention and love and seeing in an email that you literally would feel guilty you can't even unsubscribe from my email? Because like you literally can't, because you know it helps you too much. That's how we're going to have to start sending all of our emails. And it doesn't have to be time consuming. There are ways that you can leverage your time, repurpose your content, but really, it doesn't matter if it's the timing, the frequency of it doesn't really matter. The topics don't even matter as much, as long as you are hitting what their burning pain points are, right? And we all know that, right? We've been around in marketing enough to know that we have to solve people's problem. We have to hit their pain points, right? We have to empower them. Sometimes we don't do enough of that in our emails of like, you can do this. I know you're freaking busy. Everybody is. Like, I know that you're frustrated, you're burnt out, you're trying to use all of the energy that you have just to give it away to your patients because you're trying to save the world. I get you. I see you. And here's how I can help you. But I need you to pay attention to what I'm going to say in this email, because your tendency is going to be to scan it, to try to get rid of it. And I hear that too, but this is important. This is one I need you to listen to. Hit them, be direct, be real, right? Speak to one person, show them that you get them. And when you do that, probably what's going to happen is they're going to start skimming it. And then they're going to say like, wow, this seems serious. Something feels different about this. Yeah. Cause you were present in that email with that one person, right? It's different than like, how do I write my email for everybody and all the different scenarios? Like, no, you cannot do that. Think of one practitioner and what they must be going through at the peak of their busyness of their day when they get that email from you. And then it's like, that's when you open up your heart, because you know intellectually what you want to say, right? We've said it a million freaking times. So now is the time to appeal to the side of them that's like, they're just tired. They do want to grow their business. They do want solutions, and they just need a break. So how can we use this email to make it feel like you are recharging them? You're not asking more of them. You are giving your energy to them in this email, trying to empower them, give them a moment of peace and clarity and direction and focus. Like I'm telling you. So the rest of it, well, how often and what should I say? I usually like to just survey them, survey your practitioners and some of the trusted clients that you appreciate the most, that you think most likely matches like the type of person that you want to attract in more from. And then just say like, gosh, I feel like I'm trying to put myself in the seat of this person. This is what I'm thinking are the pain points that I want to achieve across 5 emails spaced 2 days apart. Do you have any feedback? Does that feel like it really solves what you would have wanted? I mean, I'm just going to ask. And maybe they know and maybe they don't know, but I'm definitely going to be a lot further ahead by asking those questions. Sometimes I've written the whole sequence and I'll send it to a few people to get their honest feedback. And then I'm always trusting my instincts, Erika, because nobody knows this business better than you, and nobody ever will. So nobody knows your people better than you do, right? So really own that. And you can hear advice, but listen to your instinct on like, you know what? So-and-so tells me that I'm nuts if I don't send 2 emails a day for 15 days. But that doesn't feel like that's in the highest service of the people I'm trying to attract in. Actually, even if it slows down my sales cycle, it almost feels like I need to do it about once every 4 days. That feels right for me. Do that. Always trust this, because your model there's not another model for what you're doing that I know of, right? Not like this.
Right.
So that means that you've created something. You can't model then what somebody else is doing for marketing. It's good to educate yourself and get feedback and opinions like this, but always trust this, always survey your audience, and always know that everything is worth testing,
Okay. And to get people on the phone, any suggestions to get them to call you back so we can get them on the phone?
I mean, you can try tactical things like setting up like an SMS, like a text messaging option where you're like texting them like, hey, do you have 5 minutes for a call sometime today, or 10 minutes or half hour? Hey, this could be in text or on email. I have a feeling you're going to get better results with text messaging.
Agreed.
And starting to understand how to really leverage that option. Even as a result from your speaking, get people into a text messaging service. But you could say like, hey, could you tell me the name and number of your office manager? I was thinking to protect your time, I could just schedule a call with your office manager at some point this week. Do you want to connect us? I have a feeling, Erika, that one of your biggest untapped resources is that office manager. I really
agree.
do. And even if it's a solo practitioner, you could still have that as an audience, but you'll grow your company more faster if somebody is more established, has an office manager. So you might even find that office managers become an interesting niche audience for you in the future. So that's what I got for you, girl, in this hot seat today.
Thank you. That was very, very insightful. I think that was a really just a totally different strategy, because you're right. We have always been going after the practitioner, but we still acknowledge that they're busy and they've got all these things going on. You're right. They have this whole support staff right there.
And guys, this is the value of a hot seat. I had no clue that we were going to talk about this today. Zero. I had no time to prepare, but as she started to talk to me, I thought, oh, I actually understand this because I've been through something similar. And so we're going to have more hot seats in February. Any day now, Julie is going to be opening it up in the Facebook group. Who wants to sign up for a hot seat?
Coming back.
You know what? It's first come, first serve. So you got to engage in the Leverage to Scale Facebook community. Erika, I want to thank you for your time today. Those were some awesome questions. Thank you for just opening yourself up to us. And guys, if you feel like, you know what, I don't want to do my mundane marketing anymore, I should have somebody do it for me, go check out Leverage to Scale Widget. I'm telling you, it's awesome. I believe in it, and you got to see it today. Like, just go look into it. All right, guys, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and we will see you in a week's time.